We put this idea out months ago, and now we're like, oh no, we have to do it for real.
We have to do it. We didn't. We choose to do this to ourselves every day. No, no one's forcing us to be here.
Hi everyone, welcome back to After Broadway, the podcast where we deep dive into anything and everything musical theater. I'm Tara.
I'm Stefania.
And in today's episode, we are diving into season 1 of Schmigadoon. I saw you just potentially try to look for a playbill that you definitely don't have.
I know. I was like, where is it? We have not seen the musical, okay?
And I think we will not see the musical.
No, I agree, but we thought it was a good time to maybe revisit season 1 of Schmigadoon and maybe just talk about what we think about a potential adaptation that is actually happening in time for its Broadway premiere.
Yeah, so as we're recording this, it's currently in previews, but when this episode is released, Schmigadoon will be open, and like literally next week is when it's Tony nomination, so the show is like opening just in time for the Tony cutoff. So we might be talking about Schmigadoon again in our next episode, which will be our Tony nomination breakdown. We'll see what happens. I think, though, actually, maybe we should do a little bit of a recap, because I feel like when we did our Way Too Early, the cast wasn't really attached to Schmigadoon, and I believe I was like probably unknown actor from, or supporting actor or actress from Schmigadoon could get nominated. I also believe that I put like a Kevin Del Aguila on that list, and is he in it? I think he is in it. Someone is in it that I said. It might be Brad Oscar, it might be Kevin Del Aguila, it might be someone within that realm.
It's Brad Oscar is here.
It's Brad Oscar. So, you know, there's always someone that's been in a previous musical comedy that's been nominated for a Tony Award that could show up later.
Kevin Del Aguila was in the Washington, D.C. Kennedy Center, but he did not make it to Broadway with the show.
Who replaced him?
Malik Pancholi. So.
Oh, not familiar.
Not a similar type. He looks familiar to me. He's an actor.
Anyway, we will get to the Broadway show, but as Steph said, well, first of all, this was the first venture into Schmigadoon for Steph. This was my second time watching it because I really needed a refresh. But I guess, like, I'll start with where this started. So I first watched this in 2021 when it premiered. It is currently still on Apple TV Plus. Is that what that network is called?
I think that's what it's called.
Apple TV Plus. I'm not sure. That's where it's playing currently. It got 2 seasons. There's 6 episodes per season, and the episodes are like quite short, so it is a very easy watch.
Yes.
It's like 30 minutes max, I would say, per episode. But for the purpose of this conversation, we only watched season 1 because that is kind of what's been turned into the Broadway version of Schmigadoon. All that to say, I watched this in 2021, and I remember like really liking it, but then when I was re-watching it, I realized that I probably really liked it because I was so musical theater deprived in 2021. This was like early-ish days of the pandemic, and I was literally looking for anything and everything musical to like fill the void of not seeing shows, and this definitely, I would say, like filled that void.
Sure.
It is very musical theater. But on a rewatch, I didn't feel the same way. We'll get more into that, but how did you feel on your like first viewing of Schmigadoon?
When I first started the first episode, I was kind of dreading watching it because I was like, oh God. Even though it was like, I was like, we
put this idea out months ago, and now we're like, oh no, we have to do it for real.
We have to do it. We didn't. We choose to do this to ourselves every day. No, no one's forcing us to be here. Anyway, I was kind of dreading watching it, and as the first episode was going on, I was like, oh no. But I actually felt it got stronger as it went along. I think once you got past, for me anyway, the kind of romantic side plots with like Dove Cameron and Aaron Tveit, once we moved to kind of like the more realistic potential romance plots, I thought that's when it got a bit more interesting and a bit more compelling. And, you know, in the end, I was like, moved. I think it was fairly like you knew where it was going. You knew what was happening, and that makes sense because it is a play on these formulaic classic musicals, and the like half the joke is that when you meet the characters, you know exactly who they are and exactly how they're going to act at every moment because we've met them all many times before. So in terms of satire, like it worked well in that way, but in terms of like a satisfying conclusion to the story, you're kind of like, well, of course we got here. Yes. But overall, a nice, quick, mostly enjoyable watch.
Yeah. Do you want to give like a little synopsis?
Yeah, so we have a couple, Josh and Melissa. They've been in a relationship for a few years and it's starting to, go a little stale. So they try to do this couples retreat hike to reconnect. And
they're doctors.
They're doctors. They accidentally, in the woods that they're in, enter this town that is called Schmigadoon that is a musical. And they try to escape Schmigadoon, which is obviously a play on Brigadoon, which is, a mysterious town. They try to escape Schmigadoon, but they can only escape Schmigadoon with true love. And so they're like, well, obviously that's not with each other, so they need to find true love somewhere in Schmigadoon to be able to escape. And then, as you can imagine, they go through all of these things, and where is true love? With each other. Sorry, spoiler alert for the end.
But also, like, within the rocks of each other.
Yes,
like,
they had lost the rocks. It's like, okay, are these magic rocks?
The whole thing is, like, very, like, fantastical. And, like, as you said, parody on other musicals. Like, we were talking, obviously, Brigadoon, Oklahoma, The Music Man, Carousel, The Sound of Music, I would say. It's pretty, like, season 1 really heavily focuses on, like, the golden age musical area. So, like, the 1940s, 1950s. And then, even though, like, we're not getting into it, but season 2 focuses on, like, 70s and 60s. So we get more into, like, it's called, like, Schmigado, basically, in the second one. So it's, like, Chicago Cabaret, whereas this is way more, like, everything else. Now, it's interesting because, like, I was reading a Reddit post about this of the preview process, and someone was asking, like, do you need to know about the original musicals to be able to understand what's happening here? Right. And I would say, like, no, but, like, I don't think it's important to know, like, characters from, like, Oklahoma per se, but, like, it definitely, I think you're more in on the joke if you know little bits and pieces of these, like, golden age musicals.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's like a absolutely you have to see all of these other things to enjoy this show.
I guess I just wonder if you don't already know and love musicals,
why are you here?
Well, yeah, sort of. What is calling you about Schmigadoon? If you don't already know and love, like, a musical like Oklahoma, I say you should probably see Oklahoma instead of seeing Schmigadoon.
It's so funny, though, because, like, the only version of Oklahoma that I'm familiar with is, the Crazy Oklahoma. So, like, I also am not that familiar with Oklahoma.
No, but I mean, let's say,
Golden Age Oklahoma.
Generally, like, if you're not already familiar at least in a passing way with The Music Man, which, like, multiple characters in this season are based off of, I think you should probably watch The Music Man instead of watching this. Like, I think you'll get more out of that.
Yes, and also, like, I guess to that point, too, a lot of the songs, there are certain songs that are in the style of these specific musicals. So, like, obviously the opening number is Oklahoma. Schmigadoon is, like, Oklahoma. There's, like, a song that Kristen Chenoweth sings, like, very late in the season. I think it's called Tribulation. That's, like, Trouble from The Music Man. Like, literally sounds just like it. So, yeah, I agree, like, what is calling you to watch this if you aren't already familiar with those? That's literally, I asked Steph this question off the mic. I was like, who, forget the TV show, but, like, who is being called to see Brigadoon on Broadway? Because to me, like, it's not really name recognition at all if you're, like, a tourist. So if I saw this on, like, a TKTS board, I'm like, what the hell is that?
let's say you're a retired couple from Texas and you're like, what musical do I need to see? Like, is Schmigadoon calling you? Are you like Brigadoon? Like, is that enough
like a couple from
of an
Texas,
association?
yeah, probably they should see Schmigadoon. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's interesting, too, because obviously, so, like, more backstory on this. So this is written by Cinco Paul and somebody else, who, let me find his name, because it's important for this conversation as well. Mm-hmm. Ken Dorio. They created the TV show. Cinco Paul also wrote the music and is, like, heavily involved in the Broadway musical that's currently playing. And this had an original iteration out-of-town tryout at the Kennedy Center, almost featuring the exact cast. And from what I've read of what people are saying about the Broadway version of this is that, like, the musical is basically, like, shot for shot the TV show. And I don't know. There's, like, a part of me that's like, that's great, because if you're a fan of the TV show, then you'll love this musical. But at the same time, I'm like, we couldn't have branched out, like, a little bit further to have, like, a bit more of a storyline? Because to me, like, the story doesn't really properly start or middle or end in season 1. So what are we doing on stage?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, the arc of season 1 is basically, like, oh, they learn, like, they like, find the love and the spark in their relationship back through being in Schmigadoon. Yeah, I mean, the show is
so quickly.
Well, in 6 episodes. That's the thing. A musical is, what, 2 hours and 45 minutes? You know how long these 6 episodes are? Probably around 2 hours and 45 minutes. So,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why everyone's like, it's literally shot for shot of the TV show.
The things that they've cut, it seems, are the, like, flashbacks to their relationship in, like, the real world. And I think there are some new songs, maybe 1 or 2 new songs.
There's a few new songs, yeah.
Beyond that, I think Cinco Paul was really happy with what he'd created and was like, we're just putting exactly this on stage. And yeah, I'm not sure, again, we haven't seen the stage version. We're kind of speaking just more about, like, the TV show when what we think about a stage adaptation. But I don't know if enough care is necessarily put into translating it for a different medium. Like, I think as a TV show, you know, parodying musicals, there's, like, a little bit of, like, distance in there. But then when if it's just a musical on stage, is the parody, like, coming across as much? Or are you just watching, like, not budget, it looks expensive, I guess, but are you just watching, like, a funhouse version of a classic musical? And again, I think there are different options for that.
Yeah, like, it's interesting because, like, here I am being like, maybe they should have tried something different, but, like, the last thing that I can compare this to is Smash, a TV show that was turned into
really thinking about Smash
a musical, and they really strayed from the TV show, and I think that was the wrong thing to do. It was, like, so far away from what, like, we loved about Smash. So I think the moral of the story here is that, like, you can't please everybody. Is, like,
no, that's true. That's true. No one, you can never do anything right. Smash is honestly a really good comp because it's a television show that is a love letter to musicals that they are then putting on stage. And part of what worked is the aspect of being a TV show. And then putting it on stage, it does ask different things of an audience, of the performers, of the directors. And yeah, has enough been done to adapt it to this new medium? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But to get back onto the TV show route, I think what was exciting at the time when it first came out is, like, oh, this features an ensemble of, like, so many Broadway actors.
Everyone was available because of the time.
It was available. This shot in Vancouver when it happened. At the time, you know, Aaron and Erica were not married yet. Now they're married with a kid. She's, like, the star of the opening number of Schmigadoon. And there's, like, a scene where she's going to play, like, Cecily Strong's, like, dream ballet character. And then Cecily's like, I don't want to do this
please don't
anymore. Which... Yeah, I do agree. I think it does get stronger. It's also interesting because, like, you haven't seen season 2. I doubt that you're going to watch season 2.
Probably not.
After watching season 1. But we kind of just, like, start again. We're, like, having problems again. Like, Melissa and... I forget his name. What's his name?
Josh,
yes. Josh and Melissa are, like, trying to have a kid. It, like, doesn't work out for them. So they, like, try to, like, spark something again. I was like... We already did this. I do actually think the music in season 2 is better than season 1. I believe.
Could it just be that you like enjoy that era more than?
Yes, but there's like a number that was inspired by Hair that I believe I used as an obsession one time. It was like Aaron sings a song that sounds like it's from Hair, and I love that song. Or maybe it was him and Dove Cameron. Yeah, I was just like, and then we know that season 3 was written, but the show got canceled after 2 seasons. So there was a full script there that got
quite
scrapped.
Expensive to shoot.
It's a big cast also. Like there's a lot of main like principal characters, but then there's a big ensemble. And I have heard that like that is the best part of the musical. The ensemble is giving choreography. We are tapping. We are like. Someone said that there's ballet in it. It's like a lot of good dancing. I think it's Christopher Gattelli.
Yes, I was just going to say it's directed and choreographed by Christopher Gattelli, who we love for many things, but his first directorial effort was something that we really loved in Death Becomes Her. You know, if we're talking about his choreography, you can go back to something like Newsies. You can talk about like My Fair Lady, SpongeBob SquarePants, The King and I. Wow, there was like a beautiful King and I moment sort of in this season. So yeah, he has the Broadway creds here, and now his second Broadway directing credit as Schmigadoon. You know, Death Becomes Her also like a musical comedy kind of like satire show. So this is a good sweet spot for him. Did he choreograph the show?
That's a good question. I don't know.
This is a good question.
But something else that we have also seen in like the very few photos, I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, there'll be like high quality production photos. He did
choreograph the TV show.
So Cinco Paul was just like brought people that he liked to work with, which is great. But what I've been reading a lot of, and again, I'm sure that there will be like full production photos very soon, probably like even a bit of TV spot stuff, but the set is apparently amazing. Like we are talking practical sets, which you know I love. There's no screen in sight, and like beautiful colors, which like kind of reminds me of almost like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when like Dorothy like enters. It's kind of like that same thing.
You know what I'm thinking of when we saw Brigadoon at Shaw Festival, and they had that beautiful set, one of the most craziest sets I've ever seen, when they opened it up and you saw the town of Brigadoon. So you kind of have to nail the town.
Yeah, and that opening episode I think has like a beautiful set within the TV show of what Schmigadoon looks like. So I would assume like everything else that they've done in this musical, they kind of like probably emulated the set on stage for that. The only thing that I've seen right now is the curtain call. I don't know if you've seen the curtain call, but they do like a fun. So there's like, what is it called? Is it called a safety curtain, or it's just like it's like the scrim that has the title card on it, basically. Right. So that comes down, and for the curtain call, all you can see are the ensemble members' feet. So it says like Schmigadoon, but then they're still like dancing to, I believe it's that final song that's in the TV show, or they do like Schmigadoon again. And then the curtain goes up and we get like full bows from every ensemble member individually, which is always nice. And then like everybody comes out and then they sing like a final Schmigadoon at the end. It looks bright, it looks beautiful, it looks very fun. I'm sure it's a fun time at the theater. The cast is like pretty stacked in this show.
Yes.
It's a lot of the people that were in the Kennedy Center, and then there's like some newbies. What's exciting to, I think, like us is that a lot of people that we've seen in like other shows are kind of making their like principal debuts. So like Max Clayton is finally having a principal debut. He's playing like the Aaron Tveit character. You know, Anne Harada, we love her. She's in the TV show. She's also in this. I'm trying to think who else. Sarah Chase, I would say, she was in Gatsby as Myrtle?
Is she Myrtle?
I want to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
And then I think she left for a while on injury, and then she went to go do the Kennedy Center and then came back. Alex Brightman in a completely different role from the last time he was on Broadway.
Absolutely.
Mackenzie Kurtz is the Dove Cameron, who if you see any ads, she is giving her best like accent. I actually have been watching a bit of her. She's doing the vlogs right now.
Oh, great.
And she's actually a really fun person to give a camera to. So like if Mackenzie's ever doing more shows like Broadway.com, give her the camera because she gets what I want, which is the behind the scenes footage.
Right.
But she showed like the sits probe. She showed the rehearsal room. We have like Izzy McCalla, who's playing the Ariana DeBose character, who's the teacher. I know like her brother is a child actor in this, same as the show. He's very cute, the kid. I'm trying to think if there's any other like big characters. Who's playing like the mayor or like the Kristen Chenoweth character? Oh, I think Kristen Chenoweth's character is Anna Gasteyer.
It is. The mayor is Brad Oscar.
Right.
And the what's his name? The Reverend is Malik Panchali, which we talked about already.
What about the doctor? Or is that the Reverend?
The doctor,
the
Doc Lopez, is Ivan Hernandez, who we know many things.
As the dad in Dear Evan Hansen.
Dad in Dear Evan Hansen. Oh. I'm thinking of Ivan Hernandez from replacing
Lincoln?
Brian Stokes Mitchell in 3 Summers of Lincoln.
And then, there's a lot of people that, like, I recognize in the ensemble from, like, Mean Girls, The Prom, like, these, like, big dance-heavy shows.
Sure.
So it's, like, it's a very large cast from what I've seen. So, to your point, it probably is, like, decently expensive.
Yeah. And, like, to emulate those classic musicals that had beautiful, large casts, hopefully a big orchestra, big band, like luxurious sets. Like if you're coming to parody or satire these classic musicals, then you need to have all the trappings of them as well. So yeah.
It's hard to say about like press reaction. I don't know if you have any like critic reviews. I know that the show has like 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Like the
TV
TV show?
I would go that high.
No, I was looking. I was on the Rotten Tomatoes, just kind of scrolling through, if you will. Let's see. IndieWire, what's the headline? Schmigadoon review. Apple TV Plus Meta Musical tries hard to sing a different tune. It would work to the show's advantage to lean on its Broadway cast more and not be afraid to find the humor in darker topics. Interesting. Okay. The Daily Beast. Let's see. Welcome to Schmigadoon, SNL's woke homage to musicals I can't believe exists. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned Lorne Michaels is a producer on this.
Yes. And, like, talking about that opening credit sequence is so fun, which is very classic, like, movie musical over more than stage musical. Wow, why am I only clicking on the bad reviews? Joined on the Globe and Mail. Okay, the Globe and Mail, let's click on you. Canada. It's going to take me away, isn't it?
It's going to paywall you. We know it.
Paywall me.
I mean, why are you only clicking on the bad reviews? Because the good reviews are no fun. We have to read the drama.
I know. Okay, John Doyle at the Globe and Mail said, guaranteed to make you smile, Schmigadoon on Apple TV. Okay.
Okay, Canada.
I'm
surprised there's not more Canadian reviews because it was filmed in Vancouver. I wonder where they filmed it in Vancouver because there is like quite a bit of outdoor landscape that we're using. Unless I'm like just thinking that they filmed it outside, but it was actually on a studio lot.
I think it was mostly on a studio lot. There's like some forest that I can imagine.
They must have also had COVID like precautions.
Probably crazy. Wasn't this... the famous video of Aaron Tveit and Gavin Creel doing their miscast, virtually, but then they're actually in the same room. Wasn't this when they were in Vancouver filming? Yes. I don't think, was Gavin Creel ever in Schmigadoon?
Gavin's not.
I don't think so.
No.
But he was in Vancouver for something.
Yeah. Because I remember correctly at the time there was like a Schmigadoon bubble. And that's why they brought a lot of people's a lot of the ensemble members. Family, friends. I swear there's someone that you used to dance with that's in Schmigadoon.
There is. Her name is Amanda Cleghorn. She is like kind of next to Erica for most of the.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's
like,
pretty front and center.
She is pretty front and center. I was watching this. I was like, oh hey. But yeah, I went to the same dance studio here in Vaughan, Ontario, which is a few years older than me.
And Steph was not asked to be in the ensemble of Schmigadoon.
I was not offered a part in the ensemble of Schmigadoon. She lost. She came in second place on Something in Dance Canada many years ago.
Oh wow.
But, yeah. But yes, she's a professional dancer now. She's danced for Taylor Swift. Blah blah blah. Boring. But
yeah.
But yeah, she's in Schmigadoon. She does like TV stuff.
Was like trying to pull up the Broadway grosses, but then realized that it's really only been running for like 2 weeks. But I can give for the week that we are currently recording. So today is April 16th. The Broadway grosses came out on April 12th. This is based on 7 previews. The show's playing at the Nederlander Theater, which were we just in it? What did we see? I saw a few things in the Nederlander, but I feel like we were like literally just there. I almost just went to pull my passport, but I don't have it right here.
I don't know if I've ever been in the Nederlander.
I saw Mr. Saturday Night.
Never been there.
The Crystal is coming back to Broadway, if we're curious. I think Redwood was in the Nederlander. Something last season.
Okay, I think the most recent thing you saw there is the Who's Tommy. You also saw Shucked.
Yes.
And you saw Mr. Saturday Night. Did you see Pretty Woman?
Yes.
Okay, you saw Pretty Woman. Did you see Newsies on Broadway?
No.
Okay. Newsies was there.
Chris Catelli back to
Chris Catelli back to the
previous
Nederlander.
theater.
I'm just like knowing what you've seen. Rent was there for many, many years.
What was there last season?
All Out Comedy About Ambition. That just closed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jeff Ross, Take a Banana for the Ride. Whatever that is. And then Redwood.
Okay, so
last thing you saw would have been Tommy.
It is a nice theater. I do like that theater. I will say when I saw Tommy, like my mom and my brother and I were at like the back of the mezzanine and still had like really good sight lines. So pretty good theater for that.
Great.
And the legroom is decent, which I am always looking for good legroom. Anyway, back to this. So they had, off of 7 performances, they had 92% capacity. But like, do we think that some of these people were like gifted these I don't know, actually.
I mean, look at your like price per ticket, your average cost of ticket. So that's usually interesting.
107.
Like that's pretty
Sorry,
high.
I lied. That was 6. 78.
Okay. Not as good.
78.45 with the top ticket being
$80.
$326, please.
That's premium.
And then it made $589,000 this week.
Okay.
Okay. I'm curious to see what happens going forward. So this is only running until September 6th. I don't know if there's like possibility for a extension. We were talking about this off the mic before we started recording, but like the 26-27 season seems to be taking a lot more shape than the 25-26 season. So maybe the Nederlander is already like being looked at for something else. Or because it's like such a big cast, it's possible that like these people are just, you know, booked and busy. But I would imagine, I don't know, like what do you think? This is something that I would take like a school group to, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Like maybe if you're learning about like, if you're studying musical theater and you're learning about like other musicals, I think this is actually a pretty good show to take a theater class to.
I guess it wouldn't be my first thing to take like.
No, The Outsiders is still on Broadway.
The Outsiders is still there. Even like Gatsby is still there. Unfortunately, I think those two really have the like high school
hold
like trip to New York crowd like locked up.
Even the last time we were in New York, like the Outsiders school group lines
school
that we saw were crazy.
Of the Outsiders. Yeah.
It's crazy. Actually, like not to say, but The Outsiders obviously an adaptation from, you know, a movie, a book. And I do feel like I never read the book, so I can't even speak on that, and I've only seen parts of the movie. But I do feel like they kind of strayed a bit more away.
There are changes to, you know, consider things more with a modern lens a little bit. Not huge changes, but not huge structural changes, but there are some like small changes in The Outsiders.
They're also doing some pretty cool things on stage.
Yeah, that as well. It is definitely more forward thinking than Schmigadoon. But they're not going for the same thing. Like their goals are very different.
Yeah,
so
like who would you say
comparison.
Is like the target audience for Schmigadoon? TV show and musical.
And that is the core question here, because it's
because I think it is us, but it's also not us.
No, I know it technically is us, and yet I was like, okay, maybe if I watched it at the time, I would have been like, wow, I love this.
I don't know.
Maybe not, which is why I didn't watch it at the time, because
yeah,
I'm good at self-assessing what is for me and what's not.
No, we were too busy watching High School Musical, the series at the time.
Yeah, and that was for me. Talk about a satire. Talk about...
Bring it back. Actually, don't bring it back because it got bad. No. But like season 1 and 2.
First season 1.
Season 1 specifically.
Remember when they were at camp?
Iconic.
Remember when they were at camp,
yes.
though?
That was the final season. Actually, that was kind of funny. No,
they did one more season.
They did?
Yeah, I don't think camp is the final season.
I thought it ended at camp for some reason. What was
There's
the final
like 4
show?
seasons.
I swear Frozen was the final show.
No.
I could be wrong. It's been a long time since we've deep dived into High School Musical, the musical, the series. But yeah, the documentary filming of camp was pretty funny.
But this thing about High School Musical, the series, is that like it would not work as a stage show. Like it is a TV
absolutely
show.
Not.
And like that's part of like the structure of that satire. 4 seasons. Okay, what happened in the final season, guys?
Oh, I do remember. They were like, what's her name? Sophia, like, Wiley was like trying to audition to be like a movie star or something like that.
That's not ringing a bell, but
what was the musical? Well, the whole season's not ringing a bell for either of us.
I know.
Did they do like High School Musical 2?
3. They did High School Musical 3. They just skipped over 2.
Well, because 2 was at the country club, so it's way harder.
Basically, they went to summer camp for that.
They did Frozen
they ended with an
camp.
acoustic. They did Frozen at camp. They ended the show with an acoustic performance of For Good.
I have zero memory of this, but we definitely watched
this show. We were dedicated.
No, season 1 was iconic.
Remember the fire? Remember there was a fire?
Yes.
Okay.
I just like the episode where they auditioned for the roles is like so glued in my memory. I'll never forget. And then also the breakup. The real life breakup.
The breakup. Yeah, the honestly the most iconic episode, now we're just like moving on. The most iconic episode, there's many, but is at the summer camp when it's like the real campers of
so
like
good. Shallow Lake.
And Shallow Lake, yes, and they're all like doing their parts as characters to make sure that the documentary still happens. One of them has like, they have catchphrases, but then there's like, anyway.
Yes, it's very good.
Oh, that was such a funny episode.
Also, like, the funniest part of that whole thing was that, like, they went to camp, but they didn't do Camp Rock. Like, that's the funniest part.
Nope.
Wait, wasn't ABF in the final season?
Wasn't he in season 2? Because he was
the French guy.
A competing Beauty and the Beast.
Doesn't he come back? I swear he came back.
He might have come back.
Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast. You're right. Roman Banks is also in it. We're so off track now, but yeah, watch that. Like that's the show.
Yeah,
if you're into similar things like we're into, that's the one for you. I don't know. I would say Schmigadoon maybe for like the parents.
I don't think my parents would enjoy it, but I don't know. Did your parents end up watching it? They see a bit more musicals than my parents
Maybe
do.
My mom started watching. I feel like I asked my mom this because I knew that we were recording, and I think she said that she like started to watch it, but she's not a big fan of Cecily Strong, which
interesting.
But my parents also don't really like SNL like now. But I also like was never. Honestly, growing up, I was more of a Mad TV person than an SNL person. But I also don't love Cecily. The SNL humor to me is like not that funny. I also like, I don't know about you, but like, did you laugh out loud in Schmigadoon? Because I feel like I never did.
No, but I also was like watching it by myself in my bedroom, so hard to say.
Right. Right.
Hard to say.
But sometimes when I'm watching things by myself, I laugh out loud. Depends what it is.
Funny. Yeah, not necessarily.
I do like,
okay.
What's his name?
Keegan-Michael Key. See, I
Yes,
found
I
his
do
character
like-
to be so unpleasant. So
Yeah, not in this,
I
but
was
I
like,
like him
break
generally as like a person.
Yeah, sure.
He's like fine to me. A lot of the people
I just
are
like didn't want them to get
complaining.
back together. I was like, he's annoying. Like, you can do better.
Yeah, and they
Cecily
both
Strong.
like moved on like so quickly.
Well, they need to escape. Like, I understand that. They're like, we have to get out of here. But
Yeah.
I was just like, are you fun at all? Are you willing to compromise in any way? You think everything she talks about is dumb? Like,
Well, I just
I'm
don't
over
believe
you.
that like he actually loved her.
yeah, or liked her at all. So,
I think he like liked the idea of like her
being in a relationship and
Yeah, and
know,
also
having a
like she
partner.
had a stable career. They worked at the same place together. It was kind of just like, oh, this is easy. I feel like that's
this
how
is what
he
we're
took
supposed to
it.
be doing.
Yes, exactly. But that is kind of what a lot of people are saying of the stage adaptation is that they're like, oh my god, like so annoying. Alex Brightman doesn't sing until like the very end, and it's like,
Okay, but that is
well, yeah,
the
we're
point.
following the exact same trajectory of the TV show, and it's the point that he kind of hates musicals until he doesn't.
That's his like grand gesture. Like, he's resistant the whole time until, to show the love, he like, appreciates something that like she has been showing love for this whole time. Like, you have to, it's like, I think they should do that more with characters in musicals, like withhold singing to do a story point. I think that's a clever thing to do. Like, I always think about The Great Gatsby or something. Like, I think Gatsby should not be singing for like a lot of that show. I think it should be more internal, and so you know less of his thoughts. I think it's a tool that should be used more in musicals. And I understand people are like, well, Alex Brightman's a great singer. Okay. Like, we're
But like
storytelling
he's actually
here.
not
We're
someone
telling
though
a
that
story.
I would like put on a list of people that I think
No, I
is
know.
like great. But that is
Yeah,
what
like-
people are saying. They're like, I came to hear him sing, and I was like, oh,
You did?
Great.
No, I
Love that
like
for you,
Alex
Alex.
Brightman a lot. I think he's so fun. He's a great actor. I think he puts his all into performances, obviously. But yeah, I think he can do that without having to like have a musical number.
Yeah,
every
like to
20
me,
minutes.
he's wow. Let's bring the term back. He's not a voice
He's not
forward
voice forward.
performer to
He's
me, but
performance
I think
forward.
he's
He's
more
acting
of a
forward.
yeah. He's an actor. Like he does a lot more facially. He has like really good like expressive body language, and like that's kind of what I'm looking for in this type of a show. Whereas like on the flip side, apparently like Sarah Chase is unbelievable, and like the one time we heard her sing, she was very good, but that was a
Yes,
very long
she's a
time
great
ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, she's a great voice. She's a great singer.
So, yeah, it's just like kind of, I don't know. I don't really like, I was like, should we talk about music? I feel like in terms of music, it was kind of all, it was a little lackluster to me. I think the best number is kind of the opening number.
I like the opening number. I would say probably my favorite moment was like Tribulation, which Kristen Chenoweth's like, you got trouble. Send Up. I really liked that. I also, what was the one where...
You know what I don't like? I think
What
the
don't you like?
finale is bad.
Okay, that's interesting because I was going to say I did like the finale. So the song that I kept thinking of was sort of Light from Next to Normal, which is like the finale
Oh, yeah.
of Next to Normal. It's like hard to like wrap this in a bow. And I'm reading, there is a Vulture article that kind of is, the many, many musical theater references behind Schmigadoon's songs, and it's an interview with Cinco Paul, so you have his specific insights, and they talk about what they're trying to do with that song, and basically they're saying, how do you show that the town has transformed? You move into the next age of musicals. I remember in our first table read when the cast was hearing the songs for the first time, when the last song started playing with these piano phrases, Kristen's eyes lit up and she turned to Duff Cameron and said, Sondheim. So yes, the piano line resembles a bit of Sunday in the Park with George. And then the song also segues into the late 60s, early 70s instrumentation of some Stephen Schwartz musicals like Pippin and Godspell. So they're showing...
Okay, I hear
like,
Pippin a bit.
Yeah. I do think...
And-
when I was listening to it, I was like, this is different from everything else. And I
What's
think that's a
the-
clever use of form to like show
But-
we're transforming, we're moving forward.
But also it like leads really well into season 2 because that's the era that we
Exactly.
go into. But it's the song. Oh, it's the song from Godspell. I love it. Hang on, I'm looking for it.
Beautiful City.
Yes, that's what it sounded like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's very intentional. That they're like, oh, you know, they have been stuck in this kind of, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s musical. And now that the town has changed, Melissa and Josh have changed, we're, like, the style of music is also changing. So a clever use of form in that way.
But then also, like, it's interesting to do that, obviously, for a TV show that has a season 2, but that's how your musical ends, which doesn't have a part 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can still get the message of, like, something is different about this. We're all changing, and kind of like, oh, a suggestion of where we could go. But also it does lead well into a season 2 where that is the entire concept.
Yeah. I also found that watching this back, I feel like this show was a bit inspired by the song, I think it's called It's a Musical from Something Rotten, because I was like, this is what we're doing.
You know, I agree that I thought about Something Rotten a little bit in this show, and my main critique of Something Rotten when we saw it was, like, a reference is not a joke. Like, just saying, like, you know, don't remember this musical? Isn't that hilarious? I do feel like this was slightly more than what they did with that in Something Rotten. Like, they kind of had, like, higher concept ways to reference musicals, and they weren't just so literally, like, remember chorus line? They kind of, like, played with the tropes. Like, something I thought was funny was when Jane Krakowski came as the Baroness, and Cecily Strong said, she's like, I know how this ends. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm going to end up with him. Like, call it a sixth sense. But then kind of, like, plays on it. The Baroness says, this is the I'm not letting that happen this time, and kind of plays with that trope. So I do think that Schmigadoon does a little bit more with that than Something Rotten.
It's less, like, in your face. It's more, like, metaphorical, I guess, than Something Rotten being like, here you go. Exactly. And another one, and another one, and another
remember? They're just like, remember cats? Ha ha, that's funny. Another song that I liked, I think, was Suddenly. Wow, from the Les Mis movie.
Les Mis.
It's kind of the, like, romantic moment between both, like, Josh and the school teacher, and then, like, Mel and the doctor, when they were, like, dancing throughout the house. I really liked that. This was kind of when it started to pick up for me, the show. I was like,
this is like episode 7. No, sorry, 5. This is episode 5, yeah.
I was leaning in at this point.
Yes. I really, like, have a hard time trying to figure out, like, who this is for.
No, I fully agree with that. You know,
because,
I think
again,
there's a very
like,
specific audience.
Should we have, like, gone to New York in April? Like, I don't think this was on a list.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't at the top of a list. It's not something I'm like, oh, I'll be really upset if I miss this one. You know, I'm thinking about, like, Ragtime, or thinking about, like, Cats. Those are both revivals, to be fair. So this is something that's more new and something that's able to surprise us, if possible. But, it's definitely not one that I'm like, wow, if I never get to see this, I'll really have missed out. But... But
it's also funny to say that too, because, like, to be like, this is not something that would surprise us, or, like, maybe it would be something to surprise us.
Maybe it would.
Like, I don't think so, because it's shot for shot of what I just watched.
That's true. Like, we have seen it.
So I know exactly, like, what we would see. Yeah, I wonder if it really does, like, translate how they were hoping for it to translate on stage. Maybe the best way to see Schmigadoon is to go in, like, completely blind and just, like, enjoy it for the first time without watching the TV show. I don't think, again, we haven't seen it, but, like, I would say if it is, as what everyone's saying, like, basically show put on stage, I wouldn't watch the TV show first, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably not. I agree.
Just because the live art form is probably much more fun, and then you can go back and revisit the TV show after if you loved it, because then it's like it lives on. You know how sometimes you're like, oh, I'd love to see that again. You can on Apple TV Plus.
Right there. It's right there.
So maybe that's, like, part of it too. But yeah, I always wonder, like, we've said this before about other shows, but it's like once the, like, fans have seen it, like, then who? But they also have an out date, so they're not trying to have like long longevity here. They're ending, right at Labor Day weekend, so they'll get that summer crowd, and then they're like, peace out, we're done. Thanks so much for our time. So maybe it is like a smart way to just do like a little limited run. Everyone gets a little taste of Schmigadoon, and like Cinco Paul is so happy that his baby got to be on stage. Maybe that's how I need to look at it.
No, I'm happy for Cinco Paul because he does seem so passionate about it, and I think that's like really exciting. So, yeah, like it's not a bad show, but it's not like. And speaking about the TV show, like I'm not like running to recommend it to people. Like what a hidden gem.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily.
Like if we're talking about like underrated musical adaptations for like TV and film, I wouldn't be like, you gotta watch Schmigadoon. It's my favorite like musicalization of entertainment. It's not. It's an easy watch though.
Yeah, I think I probably prefer things maybe a little bit more earnest. Is that crazy? Like I think I just maybe want things to take themselves just like slightly more seriously. I don't know. And then if I want to laugh because it's like over the top, that's me. Like I'd rather them go like wholehearted earnestness, and then maybe there's like comedy mind out of there. I think like tonally it's tough, like for me specifically, and my musical comedy, like my touch and go relationship with musical comedy. But yeah, I think talking about something like Smash, right? Comparing it back to Smash, which again is like probably a worse television show, but the
Girl,
like
please.
but the passion they put into making it, like
Smash
drew me in.
Like the thing about Smash the TV show versus Smash the musical is that like Smash the TV show was not trying to be a comedy. Smash the musical was trying so hard to be a comedy.
It took.
Oh, you're saying like you loved it because it felt so earnest to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then the like they were like passionately trying to make a Marilyn Monroe musical, and the musical just was like, isn't this funny? And
we can't put Smash down because the pilot is actually great
television. It's so good. No, it is because they're like they took it seriously.
I kind of agree about the lens of Schmigadoon because they're like not taking themselves seriously. And it's annoying that they're not. I don't know.
Like that's the concept of the show. Like that is conceptually what the show is. So it's not like they're doing a bad job. Like that is the intention. So but it's just like not necessarily like my taste. It's just not necessarily what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I don't know. That was kind of a like maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't watch it. So that's maybe where we'll leave that.
It's tricky. I don't know. I think there are like some fun songs. I think there's like good craftsmanship in it, but
And again, like I said,
it's underrated.
If you are like in New York and you are seeing this, like heard that the choreography is really, really great. So, and you're bound to see like very talented people on stage. Yes. It's a very good cast and like it's exciting to have all these people together. But yeah, I guess we will be talking about this again in our next episode because I do think that there will be some Tony nominations. It's the thinnest season of all time, so they got to get something here. At least like a choreography.
Since Moulin Rouge won Best Musical.
Yeah. Someone was talking about this the other day, and they were like, remember how like Aaron Tveit could have lost that Tony Award that year? Because if enough voters said no, then like they just wouldn't have had a Best Actor.
Imagine, I know.
Imagine they get up there. No. Well, I had like a vision of this. I was like, okay,
they should have told him before if that happened.
No, I didn't picture them skipping the category. I like visioned like someone going up and opening the envelope and being like, no one, and then walk off stage.
Can you imagine that happening?
And like on the broadcast, not cut, not before, like on the broadcast. I like had this like moment.
There's a part of me that iconic.
I wish. No, I don't wish. It's no. Like, love him.
I know.
I do think that like
sour Tony.
But like in the grand scheme of things, like maybe this is the role that he should be nominated. He should win for. You know what I mean?
What, Moulin Rouge? Yeah. I don't necessarily think it's a bad win, but I wish it felt like a real win. You know? We do.
While we're on the Aaron train for a second, we didn't even talk about him. I actually think he is pretty good in this show, but his character kind of sucks.
Yeah, his character's, a bit annoying. It's like a Billy Bigelow kind of.
But he's got really good hair in this filming. I like him better in season 2, I will say, the character. And again, he gets to, like, do more. I think, like, with a voice that Aaron has, he was so severely underused in season 1 of Schmigadoon. He has, like, one song that doesn't get to show vocal ability at all, I think. Anyway, while we're talking about Aaron, we think he is possibly closing Moulin Rouge on Broadway.
Maybe this will be announced, but he has a 2-week vacation that lines up exactly with the final 2 weeks of Moulin Rouge on Broadway. And that seems crazy to me, and to many people.
Yeah.
Do you think this is, like, written into his chess contract that, like...
Should Moulin Rouge close?
People are like, you can't, like, do 2 Broadway shows at once. I'm like, one, people have, and people will.
Excuse me, didn't, like, Cynthia Nixon, like, run across the street to do her second Broadway show?
Yes, what she would do...
Take the subway?
No, they were across the street from each other.
Okay, they were.
What she would do is, like, the one show had an earlier curtain time, so she would go, do Act 1, walk across the street, like, do, like, the entire other play, and then go back to the original theater for, like, the end.
That's insane.
And, like, bow. So she would do, like, one whole entire play in the middle of another
If she was allowed to do that, I think Aaron is allowed to take vacation.
Yeah. To be honest, I think this was probably built into his contract. Like,
but how could it be built into his contract? They didn't know that Moulin Rouge was closing.
Not necessarily, like, the closing, but just, like...
leave to do other things type thing?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, maybe not Moulin Rouge exclusively. But, like, actors do this all the time. Like, people take off performances to go do, like, a concert in, like... Washington.
I think a concert or filming a TV show is different than going to work for one of your direct competitors for 2 weeks and then coming back.
As far as I'm concerned, Moulin Rouge is not a direct competitor, but everybody will be at that and not chess up for those 2 weeks.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but Leah will also be out of the show at that time, so, like, who's really seeing chess?
She's gone.
Although JoJo, I think, is going to be great.
JoJo's going to slay, I hope. And talk about Moulin Rouge.
The timing just fits too perfectly for him not to go back into it. They're also starting to, like, slowly announce, like, people coming back. Like, Eric Anderson is going back into Moulin Rouge, who did it for, like, quite a long time. Bring back Danny Burstein, though. Like, that's who should end this run. What's his name is back right now as Santiago. Like, Ricky is back.
Oh, he's always there, though. I feel like he was there for a long time.
He dips in and out all the time. Yeah. When he, like, needs to be back, he's back. He is the best version of that character we've ever seen. So, like, it's correct that he's back. But yeah, I just think, like, it lines up way too coincidentally for that not to be the case. And if that's the case, like, that's very fun. That's very fun of Aaron to do that.
Yeah. I think he feels really strongly about that show.
He's gone back before, right? Like, when he went back before, it was for kind of a long time.
Well, he went back, I feel like he was there when he had his baby. And, because
I think you're right.
I think, not the joke, was like, you know, Derek Klena was there when his wife had a baby. Aaron Tveit went back when his wife was having a baby. It's like, you go there for the steady employment to support your family. Like,
the steady employment, but, like, singing at the top of your register.
Yes, like vocal damage. It's better than being a Savannah Banana, that's all I'll say.
I knew you were going to say that. Sorry to Derek Klena. But you know what? Get your money.
Get your money.
Get your money.
It must pay so well. Oh my god.
Get your money. I see you on Instagram all the time. I keep scrolling by because I have secondhand embarrassment. But get your money. Okay, I guess that's where we'll end this conversation because now we are so off track. But do we rate? I don't think do we rate TV and movies? I don't remember the last time we've done something like this.
I have no idea. Should we rate it? Okay, let's rate it. Okay. I'm gonna give Schmigadoon season 1 a 7 out of 10 little heart rocks.
Wow.
You think that's high?
Yeah.
I almost gave 6, but, like, it's not bad.
I think off of my first viewing, I probably would have given, like, a 7 or an 8. But on my second viewing, and, like, I'm so sorry, but it could not hold my attention, like, 5 out of 10. And I'll give it, like, Aaron's little paper Newsies boy hat.
That's true.
For Danny Bailey. I don't know. I just, like, had a really hard time paying attention and focusing because probably in the back of my mind, it was like, I've already seen this before. But also when I watched it, I was like, I have no memory of any of this. So it's
not sticky.
a glowing review from me, obviously.
Review. No memory of any of this.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, I'll never listen to these songs ever again.
No, I agree about that.
So, but hope they do well on Broadway. Can't wait to see the Tony nominations in our next episode, which will be, like, next week, to see what happens. Again, I'm so happy for everybody in this cast that's, like, finally getting to do, like, principal work. Yes?
You know what I'm thinking about? This is going to license really well. Because it has... musical.
Good.
Yeah, because it has, one, a big cast, and I think it's just, like, funny, great, you can have a good ensemble in it. I think this will license well.
Yeah, that's true. What, before we actually go to Obsession, what Toronto company would bring Schmigadoon?
Oh, that's a good question.
Literally none. But what? Drayton.
Yeah, none of them... You're right, Drayton. I was going to say, none of them are a perfect fit. Drayton is good. I can also see maybe Stratford.
Stratford loves a musical comedy.
Stratford loves a musical comedy. But I do think Drayton is a good call on that.
Wow, Stratford's good. Shawfest, like, no. They would just do
right
Brigadoon or Oklahoma or the Music Man.
Exactly. And that's what you should go to Shaw Festival for. Like, their Brigadoon was iconic.
Stratford this is giving Something Rotten energy, so yeah, that really does line up. But yeah, I'm giving this to Drayton first, and
I agree with you on Drayton.
We'll see where that goes.
Actually, that's good.
Anyway,
good call.
That's our thoughts on Schmigadoon, and now it's time for our obsession of the week. What's your obsession this week?
Okay, my obsession this week came to me. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Who Weekly, and they introduced me to something that I didn't know was happening, but when they said it, I thought, this has me written all over it. So it is a new stage adaptation of Girl Interrupted, a play with music, premieres off Broadway at the Public Theater from May 13th to June 21st. So, listen to this. Written by Pulitzer Prize winner Martina Mayock, with music by Amy Mann. The production stars King Princess. Choreography by Sonia Taye. Okay? I know. So it's basically based on the original memoir.
Wait, is Martina available right now because she was fired from the other Gatsby?
No, the thing is, I actually do think she's still involved in that Gatsby. But I think she's writing other things. So
who's her husband?
I think she's dating Bobby Conte. She's engaged to Bobby Conte.
Yes. Sorry, this is all off topic, but I just needed to clarify.
No, we needed to remember who it was. But anyway, so basically Amy Mann had been working on this musical for a long time, and then during the pandemic, speaking of pandemic, she released all the songs for it as a concept album called Queens of the Summer Hotel, kind of abandoning the idea that this musical was ever gonna... It's actually a play with music, sorry. That this was ever going to really, like, have life beyond what she was writing. So she released it as the concept album in November 2021. Kind of, a lot of people were just, what do I have? What do I got? We don't know what's coming for live performance. And so I went and listened to the album. It's a quick listen. It's 40 minutes. It's kind of, the way I would describe it is like adult contemporary, if you're familiar with Amy Mann, in any way. I'm trying to remember what her main song is.
This album is from 2021? Not now.
Yeah, so she released this concept album in 2021. She'd been working on the songs for this for years. And she released the concept album in 2021 thinking that the musical was just not going to happen. And then it kind of got revived now. And so it's premiering
I wonder
really
if there's
soon.
New stuff.
Yeah, I really don't know. What I'm going to emphasize, my obsession is, I think the whole album, it's a quick listen, and it's very calming, but I would say I really love, the closers, so You're Lost is probably my favorite, and then Into I See You, the last two songs, I would say. Just really, pretty music, and I'm interested to see how this, play with music comes together. I really liked what Martina Mayock did with... Gatsby, An American Myth.
We miss it every day.
I know, I think about it all the time. And so, just curious to see, what kind of life this ends up having off Broadway and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Fun. Before I give my obsession, I think we also need to give a moment to something that was announced this week.
Please.
We're recording on April 16th, but the Octet movie cast? Excuse me?
I know.
I don't really have anything more to say other than, like, that reaction, but, like, I just think it's, like, so interesting because, obviously, like, we saw Octet last year.
Yeah,
at the
September.
end of last year, or I guess middle to end of last year. And it's a hard musical to talk about even after seeing it. It's a hard musical to talk about even just listening to it. It's just, like, complex, I would say.
Yeah.
And obviously we've talked about previously, but the last thing that Lin-Manuel Miranda directed was Tick, Tick, Boom, and we both thought it was such an amazing movie but like such an amazing directorial debut. So like literally having this movie in his hands is a gift. And also like Dave Malloy being so involved I think is such a gift. But like this cast is crazy. And like congratulations Amanda Seyfried, you did it. You made it into a musical movie. And this is a good one. This is a good cast. This is a good crew. Like, this is a good one for her.
I agree. I love the directorial choices that Lin-Manuel Miranda is making to kind of take, like, musicals that he loves and adapting them for stage. For screen. I love his taste. I think he has good taste. So
yeah, I'm so curious because this musical is like a one-room situation. So I'm so curious how this will play on screen because obviously on screen you can do so much more.
Yeah.
Do we know if this is coming out in 2027 or is it later? I don't know that there's like a release date.
I don't know if we have a release date yet.
Because I was going to say, like, we did not do an episode on Octet, but, like, I'm assuming that when this comes out, we will absolutely be talking about it.
For sure.
Can't wait to hear more about that. Anyway, my obsession this week, I watched the show, and now it's back for another season, The Comeback, if you're familiar, Lisa Kudrow. This is actually, like, speaking of humor, because I think we've talked about many times that, like, humor is so subjective and, like, what you find funny might not be what other people find funny. This is the driest show I've ever seen in my entire life, and I love dry comedy. Lisa Kudrow is so good. But this show was
I keep seeing the clip of her on The Traitors. That's what I keep seeing.
Yes. She is so funny in the show. Basically, she's like a washed-up actress that is like being given like the original concept was that she was going to be given like a TV show. It ended up happening. She won an Emmy at the end of like season 2, which was so many years ago, like in real life. And now she's back for a new season. But the reason I am talking about this, I loved the show. I'm like watching the season as it's currently happening. But season 3, episode 1, Lisa Kudrow, the concept of The Comeback is that the writer's strike is on. So where is she performing? As Roxy Hart in Chicago. Which is just like comedy in itself because like we've talked about so many times that like anybody can just like step into Chicago. And that's like the butt of the joke of this episode. So she's terrible in it. And they're rehearsing the... They Both Reach for the Gun number.
Right.
And the tall man from Hadestown, Timothy Hughes, is, or what's his name? Not Fred Casely, the other guy. Billy Flynn.
Right.
The director is, hang on, I have to look this up. Nick Adams is in it, just like giving like sass all the time. The Comeback, Chicago, Lisa Kudrow, director. It's someone that we love. I think it's Robbie Fairchild.
That makes sense. That checks out.
As the director of like this production of Chicago. Anyway, she like cannot do the movement and sing
like
at the same time. And yeah, it's Robbie Fairchild. That's like the director. He's trying to get her to do like the tap movement. She's also the only one in costume. It's like the put-in, basically. Everybody else is like in their like streetwear. And then they call on another actress to like show her. She's literally just like sitting on his lap, but she cannot bounce to the beat of the music. And then they bring in like a dancer and she ends up leaving because like her assistant that's with her has COVID and they have to leave and everybody's like, Robbie Fairchild is like, my wedding is this weekend, like I can't get COVID. So like it's a very funny episode. But the reason that I'm talking about it, one, watch The Comeback. The show itself is like so funny. My friend Josh, who used to work with me, he was the one that introduced this to me like years ago. And it's just like such dry humor. And I think it's Lisa Kudrow's best work. Like she is so funny in this. But and there's always a camera. Like, the concept is that she's, like, filming a documentary style, and, like, there's always a camera that's following her, and she has these, like, insane lines. It's also very star-studded. Like, there's lots of celebrities that show up within the seasons. But yeah, it's very funny. But the reason that I was like, oh, this is perfect, because we've been looking for a segue to talk about this. When we were at the Drowsy Chaperone, we were discussing, shifting grounds to Drowsy Chaperone, we were discussing the climate of Chicago on Broadway and how Whitney Leavitt from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has broken a record for gross. That's what it was, right? It was like a 29-year record that was broken for her being in this. Crazy. From two people that you're listening to that will never step foot in the Ambassador Theater. And then now...
Another question, like, who is this for? Who is Whitney Leavitt for? Apparently a lot of people, but I don't know. The
Mormon Lives crew, obviously. But now, and I think, like, as of episode release, they're still in it together, but Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars is playing Billy Flynn. They were partners on Dancing with the Stars, and now they're doing this scene that I just spoke about together, which I think is, like, very fun. That's great that they get to, like, do this together. I think, like, it brings, you know, Dancing with the Stars fans into this, and then obviously, like, the Mormon Wives. I cannot believe the numbers that Chicago is seeing. It's, like, mind-blowing to me. But I asked Steph in the audience waiting for the Drowsy Chaperone, who is a stunt cast that would get you into the Ambassador Theater? And we really struggled with this, and we have not answered the question until this moment.
Okay, so the true answer is, like, I actually don't think I will ever step foot into the Ambassador. Like, I don't think there's really anyone that could make me see Chicago on Broadway. But what I've come up with is...
Right now.
Literally. I think the concept that would get me to enter the Ambassador Theater, I'm really, like, vamping right now, is, here's my idea. Catherine Zeta-Jones plays Billy Flynn.
Oh.
Plays Billy Flynn. This is my concept.
Okay, love that.
This I think, like, the thing that could make me be like, oh, my ears are perked. Right. I'd be like, I can't wait to watch the boot. But I think that's the closest thing that maybe... Not even that I'm, like, a huge fan of Catherine Zeta-Jones, more just like, oh, she was in the movie, she's doing this. That's the stunt cast that could get me in.
Love that.
What do you think, Tara? What is your stunt cast that could get you into the Ambassador Theater?
Only stunt cast that could get me to see Chicago would literally be a family member.
Like someone personally related to you. Or like me.
Or you. If Steph was playing Velma or Roxy or, like, backup dancer number 17, I'll be there. Just so I can hear the musical director say, Stefania Lounsbury. And then she does her, like, bow.
They do all bow.
No, literally friends and family are the only people that could get me into Chicago. That's it. That's it.
That's an iconic answer, honestly. Yeah. You're right. If a close friend or family was in Chicago on Broadway, that would be the most shocking thing to happen, and so I would have to be there. Like,
And I would be there multiple nights is actually the problem. Yeah. If you were in Chicago, I'd actually see the entire run. Like, that's the problem.
Like, every night. This is like when I was dancing, sometimes my mom would go to, like, every recital.
Yeah.
Just, like, everyone.
Like, here, the loyalty that I had to Steph when we worked together at camp, and then I didn't work there the summer after, and I went to see the show that she wasn't even in. No, she choreographed, but she wasn't even in it. But I went to see that. So, like, that's the same mentality for Chicago on Broadway.
So did my mom. Yeah, no, I agree. Wow, what a good answer. Someone you personally
I literally, one day, I was like, wait, no, this is it. It's like, if my brothers... If we open up the bag and Tyler is Fred Casely, my God, standing ovation.
That's kind of like the only role someone I know is capable of, like, just, like, coming out of a body bag.
No, you could be ensemble member, like, 18. I really believe it.
I think so. I agree. Like,
actually, one more thing on Chicago, which I think is actually super fun. Max Clayton posted, because he was in, he, like, randomly made an appearance in Chicago for, like, quite a long time as an...
Remember they announced him as Fred Casely? Like the Fred Casely casting normally doesn't get, like, an Instagram grid post. But, like, he did.
But then he also understudied Billy Flynn. He went on a few times, but then he ended up doing, like, ensemble for a while. Anyway, he posted something that was really fun. So they obviously do cast changeovers, like, a lot. That show's been at the theater for 29 years or something like that at this point.
But some people have been in it for a really long time. But yes.
For 29 years. Yes. But he said that what's super fun is when you're leaving the show, the, like, entr'acte at the beginning of Act 2, all of the dancers get to have a solo moment on stage as, like, their goodbye dance to the theater. I was like, oh my god, that's such a fun way to, like, say goodbye. Nice. And then they obviously get their, like, bow, because I think every single person is called out.
Yes, they are.
Even ensemble, like, not just principal roles are called out. Everyone is called out.
Yes,
which is maybe the most fun part of
Chicago on tour.
Right.
I saw Chicago on tour here in Toronto. You didn't come. But I did.
No, and I was going to say it's currently in Toronto, but on episode release, I think it's gone by this point. But it's definitely coming to a city near you if you are a Chicago fan.
100%. The
we are famously
coming to a city near you.
Not Chicago. The musical fans, I do think the movie is iconic, but I don't really care for the stage adaptation.
Yeah, I agree. I just forgot. We saw it at Stratford, too. Yeah, like, I agree. Chicago's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. It's just,
I think that the best part is, like, that Fosse choreography.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if it's not there, it's kind of just like,
so
want.
Catch
anyway,
me in Chicago
if any
anytime.
of my friends that are listening end up in a production of Chicago on Broadway, like, I'm there. But otherwise, I will never stamp my passport at the Ambassador Theater, and that's that. Because I actually don't think that show is going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I agree. We've talked about it many times. The theater's an awkward shape.
Yeah.
There's no backstage space.
I don't even know what it looks
Chicago
like.
costs. It's like a diagon. Not a diagon. Is that a word? A diamond. It's 11 p.m. It's like a diamond. Basically, so the stage is in a corner. And then the seats kind of go out. So there's, like, no backstage space.
So I feel like the only opportunity, if, like, Chicago should close, they would probably have to, like, redo the theater.
Well, they just don't have space, basically.
But, like, maybe it's a tear down and rebuild.
Oh my god, for the Ambassador? And the thing about it is Chicago basically has no costume changes. The band is on stage. They don't have to be anywhere.
There's also, like, it costs $0 to run. Like, no one's wearing a wig.
Exactly. It's really cheap to run. So, you know, even if they're doing weeks where they're not making that much money, like, they're still turning a profit.
I mean, while we're here, let's close it out. Let's close it out. I still have the Broadway grosses open from Schmigadoon for the week of April 12th.
Give us Chicago.
Here we are in Chicago.
This is Whitney Levitt, Mark Ballas, so these are unusual.
Exactly. Whitney Levitt, Mark Ballas. You're going to die. 100% capacity at oh my god. 171 average ticket.
No.
With a top ticket at $475.
No.
And they made almost $1.5 million this week.
No.
Chicago on Broadway.
I mean, good for
like,
them,
I have to give,
outrageous.
The producing team, congratulations. You've waited 29 years for this.
Congratulations to you.
That's crazy. Do you think it's even
Remember
on TKTS right now?
About?
Yes.
What?
Do you think it's even on TKTS right now? I wonder.
No, I don't.
But yes, I do remember the article that you talked about. Chicago's had a lot of airtime on this podcast for a show that we don't
I know, because we're, like, fascinated by the concept and, like, the economics of it. Yeah, the thing I don't understand, and we're about to end the episode, the thing I don't really understand is, like, okay, I understand how you could be a fan of watching, like, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives as a television show, but I just don't understand, like, I'm still on Whitney Levitt here, I don't understand being a fan of one of the specific people, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't get it.
Is it not the same as, like, the Housewives?
Yeah,
People
I agree.
are fans of those, like, individual people.
I know, but I also think that's weird.
And Chicago has really gone down the reality TV route, like, pretty recently. They've had a lot of Housewives. We had, like, Erin Maddox, which is very similar to, like, you know.
Yeah.
What show was she on? I don't know what show. Vanderpump?
Vanderpump Rules. Do you think now with this, like, recent Summer House thing that, like, Sierra's gonna be
Roxy Hart.
Called it here first. Sierra Miller as Roxy Hart.
And
okay.
and I wish,
Clip
because
this.
we did this in real life, but like when we were watching Dancing with the Stars this season, we both were like, Whitney's going to Chicago. Like we knew.
Yes, of course.
We just knew. And then they did Cell Block Tango on the show. I didn't see like Mark in the cards for some reason, but I should have thought that he would be there as well. And then I did see a clip from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like the most recent season. She got that offer for Chicago like week 2 of Dancing with the Stars.
Wow, that's crazy. Good for her.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing, like, she's a pretty good dancer. I don't know how she is
she's a
singing.
trained dancer.
I've
heard a little bit. She's like, it's passable, I guess. Like, I wouldn't.
But, like, I think Roxy Hart is
call
passable.
home about it. I think that's, like, the role is built to be able to kind of be done by anyone.
Yeah. We could go on about this for days, but we're going to end this conversation now for the sake of this was a Schmigadoon episode, and now it's turned into a Chicago, which, as I said, season 2, Schmigadoon, Schmigado. So maybe...
Bring it back.
Maybe that's in the cards for everybody that's listening. But yeah, that's our obsession of the week. That's our thoughts on Schmigadoon and, of course, now Chicago. And we will be talking about this season in our next episode because we will be breaking down the Tony nominations. Very curious because when we recorded that episode, we had not a lot of cast attached, and now there's like a lot of players that are here, and I'm curious to see what happens. So that's our next episode, but if you want to go back and listen to any of our other episodes, you can do that by subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Off2BOA Podcast with a number 2, and on TikTok at Off2Broadway, and leave us a comment.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.